And welcome to the week roundup. We're looking at Division 6 and I'm with
Trevor Gregg.
Thank you, Trevor. It's finals time already, Trevor.
It is.
Quickly has that gone?
It has, and we we caught a game live on Saturday.
At Petering Grove.
Yeah, bloody brilliant. I really enjoyed that.
Sorry about TJ, he's gone, he's lost his job now.
I think he has.
Yeah, us too, mate. We're
Dynamic
on fire.
duo.
On fire.
So, sorry Tommy, went as good as your boys did on Saturday. But yes, no, been away for a couple of weeks, Darcy. Yeah, keen to get into this one for this week and looking at the first week of finals, so it's good.
So we're looking at the qualifying final first. Woody South took on Brahma Lodge, and it was Woody South the big winners, as they have been all year. It was 13-14-92 to 9-6-60, so a lot more scoring shots at the same time. So well done to Woody South with the best players. Oh, sorry, go for that. Yeah, it's just a lot more scoring shots as well. So 13-14, bit inaccurate kicking, but still they took out the bickies at the end of the day. So goal kickers: Burns with 5, Matthews with 2, Sun with 2, Ahmed, the big fella, Ruckman, scoring 2, and a couple of others for the individuals. Gosling, now we go to the best players: Gosling, Mowick, Percy, Burns, and Sekovic. So to Woody South, and the Brahma Lodge, who will have the double chance, of course. We got goal scorers: Aloisi with 3, Sobels with 3, Steele, Lee, and Wanganeen, and best players: Hutmar, Savage, Steele, Hickey, and Sprigg. So a good win to Woody South nonetheless, and they take on West Croydon.
West Croydon next week at Fort Reserve.
We'll go through that in a minute. So then we go through the elimination final. A heartbreak to our resident Paulie Manuel.
Yes.
Heartbreak. He's very happy. He was confident at the beginning of the day on Facebook. He said they were looking for a big day. They were up by 18 points at 3/4 time and just got rolled at the end of the day by a point. So it was Ingle Farm 11-18. I think that wouldn't have helped their to Trinity 13-7-85. So the 18 points obviously didn't help Ingle Farm at all there. So we got to Trinity Old Scholars. Sorry.
No, I was going to say it was all up and about positive energy for Paul and the boys early on, and then very negative feelings, which obviously would be the case losing by a point. I mean, it'd be absolutely devastating.
Shattering stuff, he even said that. He did say, look, this shattering stuff, still come to terms with the 1 point loss, being up by 18 points at 3/4 time. Yeah. There, and but we'll go straight into it. So we've got the goal kickers. We've got Cotter again, he's the nail of the 4. O'Hara, Cameron, and Bearclough, winning Connolly, Perry, and Rossack. The best players: Eves, Bearclough, O'Hara, Winning, and Hall. And for Ingle Farm, we've got Cree with 4, Lynch with 3, Matthews with 2, Pry and Smith. And the best players: Hancock, Keogh, Vegan, Smart, and Cree. But heartbreaking stuff there to Ingle Farm. They will obviously regroup. Paul Manuel signed on again next year, he said a few weeks back. So
great news.
Great news, and thoroughly deserved for Paul, and he'll be back the next couple of years and sure will take out a vengeance next year.
Yeah, and hopefully he'll get his face back onto the tube as well.
Exactly.
He is missed.
Indeed.
He is definitely missed. So looking at next week, Das, I'll get your insight.
Flicks over it. There we go. So we've got Brahma Lodge taking on Trinity, of course. That will be at Brahma Lodge Oval. Gee whiz, another crack of a game. This is a tough one, this one, but I think both these games are going to be tough. I'm going to take Brahma Lodge only because it's out there. Trinity just around the corner, but Brahma Lodge for me by a very small margin.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with the Tossers on this one.
Hey, yeah,
I liked them, and I think they'll travel quite nicely. As you said, it's not too far, and we were talking about before we started about some sides being in and out of form, but Trinity for me. I like it.
Nice, absolutely, with a good game. And of course, this will be the match of the round. Of course, this is going to be a crack of a game. We're talking about match round in all grades here. We've got West Croydon and Woody South by far the best two sides all year. Yeah. They've played each other a couple of times each. I think Woody South have actually taken on. They've beaten West Croydon a few times this year, but West Croydon finished in top. And gee whiz, this is going to be a tough one. It's going to be at Fork Reserve, so home ground advantage to West Croydon. I'm going to go for Woody South. I think they've just been the best team for most of the year. They buckled at the end of it, but maybe they have got a few injuries, but I still think they can come out at the end of this week.
Well, for me, I'm going to go again. I'm going to go West Croydon on this one. Yep. They've got a massive amount of depth. Their C grade's doing extremely well also. Who they take on CBC, I believe, at Thebby, so good luck to those boys. But I've seen West Croydon train, obviously, in our deck because they use our oval now. And like they're getting off the track at almost 8:30 at night. They're getting absolutely
12 hours training.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, about 6:15 starting, and they look sharp. They look really sharp. So I'm going to go West Croydon on that one.
Yeah, this will be a cracker game from all the grades. So, but okay, so I'm going for Bram Lodge and Woody South, and you got for Trinity and West Croydon, of course.
Yep, and looking at, because we're going to do both shows in one this week. So Magoo's Corner been off air for a few weeks now, and apologies for that to everybody out there who's been asking. I can't believe people have been asking, but they have.
Absolutely.
And
you got 20,000. Was it 20,000? I think
50.
now 50,000 now logged on. 63.5 now.
Wow.
So 63,500 people that may check into this online. So of course there'll be a couple that would say, "Where's Trevor?"
Yes. So apologies again. Had to take a little bit of a hiatus, get out of the spotlight a little bit, but we're back on board.
Especially after cool last week, that really pulled back the spotlight. That
Got the juices flowing.
Absolutely,
actually.
it was
Very tight pants all day. I came out with some crackers, which I hopefully
you were very clever. It was very.
So especially with that bloke going early for the mark and the reference to my wife and I, that was a good one. Now looking at one of the first games for the round this week, which was West Croydon taking on Brahma Lodge at again New Vision Oval. West Croydon 11-11-77 to Brahma's 8-2-50, which is a fantastic result for West Croydon. So as I touched on, especially with the roundup, with West Croydon having a lot of depth, again with the B grade too. So Campbell with 4, Birch with 3, Stubbers with a couple, and the best players were Wilson, Birch, Beaton, Townsend, Wilcox. And for the Lodge, we had Brown with 3, Nelson with a couple, Morrison, Middleton and Hayes, and the better players were Birchall, Corbett, Nelson, Brown and Mendez, our mate Mendez. So looking at the next one, Ingle Farm and Trinity. I'll go down and check out West Croydon for the next game so I can give you a little bit more insight into that game. I didn't get a chance. Ingle Farm didn't have a good day.
No, they didn't have a good day, did they?
Against the Tossers also. 8-12-60, so an accurate kicking again to 11-7-73. So the Diff's mate out there, the coach, I keep forgetting his name, but he'd be really enjoying his time at the moment. So unfortunately, Ingle Farm having a rotten day. Krieg with 5, Collins with a couple, same as Burns, Elvin and Shaper with the individual scorers. Ebert, Barnes, Siciliano, Roberts and Collins were the better players there for the Tossers. And for Ingle Farm, Coleman and Hogan with Watson also kicking 2 each, Brand and Atherton, and the best players were Burt, Sarson, Brand and Taverner. So looking towards next week, it's right across the board. I think it's disappointing can't be a triple header,
yes.
But for West Croydon, because that'd be a brilliant day. Absolutely. So Brahma Lodge Oval, Brahma Lodge and Trinity. Once again, I think in this instance for me and going on past form, I think Trinity will take that one away, and that'll be the end of Brahma Lodge. At Brahma Lodge Oval, again, I have to do it. Home round advantage, yeah, but Trinity for me on that one. Woody South and West Croydon out at Falk Reserve. I'm doing it again. Going against it, I'm saying West Croydon. I think they'll be far too strong, and their C-grade lads will get up and about early, and they'll trail at home. They'll get a 3 out of 3.
Just shows the depth of these clubs, how they're in the finals for the A's and the reserves at the same time. So that's excellent depth, and well done to these clubs that can do that. So some you see they're in the top in the A's, but the B's are struggling down the bottom. But well done to those 4 clubs.
Yeah, absolutely, and especially with the threes are getting in there too.
Yep.
And they've got some unbelievable talent coming in, which is then putting pressure on the blokes up the run. So which is great to see.
Just quickly, we've got Tim Aloisi with his 4 goals last week. Nails at 100 goals for the year. So well done to Tim. That's great work. 100 goals, the only one that's probably may do it this year, I think. So congratulations. Yeah, of course, for Brahma Lodge, you've still got a few more games to go. So or 1 or 2, it depends. Then we've got Luke Woodcock with 58. So you can see Tim Aloisi is way ahead of his next rival. So, but Nicholas Lynch on 51. Chris Clark, who it looks like for Woody South is not playing at the moment, so he may be injured. So that does put a bit of a spanner in the works for Woody South, but hopefully he gets back. And Nathaniel McDonald from Mitchell Park on 48. So I reckon that wraps up Division 6. Well done again, and we'll see you next week.
See ya.